know.
Over the past 15 years, Karen has spent 9 years in commercial real estate, primarily focused on apartment communities and land. Nearly spent 5 years semi-retired, traveling as often as she could. And this past year came back to Central Florida and has focused on residential real estate and Toastmasters. Even though she is socially gregarious and outgoing, she absolutely dislikes public speaking and wants you to understand the depths of her nervousness. So please excuse her red face and fast talking and stuttering while she tries to deliver the speech. For God's sake, don't panic. Please welcome Karen Rogers.
Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
I want to be a ubiquitous soul. Okay, imagine this. Blue skies, a warm breeze, banana trees, a cloud forest, active volcanoes, a hammock between trees, and huge blizzards from every tree and limb. Caribbean waves crashing against the east shore, Panama to the east and the south, Nicaragua to the north, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. I'm in Costa Rica, where monkeys jump from tree to tree. The government has no army, and they're known for Pura Vida, the pure life, which is one of my favorite phrases. I'm floating down the river with 20 other inner tubes that are tied together for safety. And this memory is probably one of 100 trips that I have taken over the last 20 years with my father, family, friends, and others. It's peaceful, relaxing, and absolutely beautiful, but there are very loud sounds coming from the trees, and they sound like huge dinosaurs, which I am told this cannot be. There's nothing bigger than a traditional monkey making these sounds. And again, I really find this hard to believe, but I guess I'll have to trust the natives. And that's when our tour guide says, for God's sakes, don't panic. The drop is only about 30 feet. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Thankfully, before the panic sets in, he announces that there is no waterfall. So let me say this, there may be no waterfall today, but there is a speech I'm responsible for giving. And that's reason enough for panic. For God's sakes, it's only a 5 to 7 minute speech. I should be able to make it. After all, Denise said a couple weeks ago, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and we need to not let fear stop us today. So here I am. First of all, I'll tell you what I value, and then I'll share some of the highlights of some of my travels. Like many of you, I value my family and friends, my health, my freedom. I'm a transplant, probably like 95% of you. I grew up in a small town called Durham, which is home to the University of New Hampshire. New England was a perfect place to grow up. We had a variety of seasons, beautiful topography and scenery, luscious trees and mountains, houses on properties that were uniquely different from each other, a safe environment where children could play everywhere, a place where family values still existed, and families participated in outdoor events, all within a town full of students that are pursuing their dreams. I was born into a wonderful family with an older brother and an older sister. Yes, I'm the baby. A mother and a father who have now been married 55 years, in a town where we were insulated from crime and poverty. We didn't have a movie theater or a traffic light. And we weren't rich, but we had what we needed. It was an extremely loving environment, giving me the freedom to be a kid and the safety to make mistakes. I was blessed with a good family and never wanted to disappoint my parents. I was a pretty good kid. My father worked for the government, my mom worked for the university. We had a bowling alley, a few bookstores, and the laundromat, which was our favorite hangout as kids. The winters were long and cold, and it was warm in there. I remember going to the beach, all 18 miles of it. Cookouts, ice cream, picnics, outdoor games, water parks, lakes, bonfires, soccer games, swimming meets, basketball games, and blizzards, but not the ones from Dairy Queen. White Christmases and stockings full of goodies, laying by the wood stove trying to warm up and dry my clothes, shoveling snow, making tunnels in the backyard, the tire swing in the tree fort that we had built. Outdoor games with the neighborhood kids, that was a nightly occurrence. A garden that the raccoons thought was a Thanksgiving feast every day, sitting in class waiting for the snow to melt. And in my mind, I saw the green grass emerge when the snow melted, but it was brown, dead grass, but it still looked good. I remember hiding and playing in the garbage cans with my best friend Chris and cleaning his room all the time. He was affectionately named Beaver by my grandmother. Kind of fits, Beaver from the Cleaver family. I remember my family having to step over the phone cord that extended from the living room all the way down the hallway so I could talk privately about things to my friends or my boyfriends. Walking the stairway and the entrance to the kitchen by laying at the top of the stairs with my dog Cruiser and my cats Kiki and Dibs, who were also my bedmates. And did I say White Christmases? I also remember a plane crashing into my house when I was 11,
Whoa.
and the sound that it made when it crashed. I remember the tennis nationals at age 12 and ranking 6th in the country. I met Tracy Austin, Arthur Ashe, and we got to sit in his seats at the U.S. Open.
Wow.
road trips we took to New York and New Jersey, Amtrak to Florida, and the list goes on and on. Then I took off for college and I left everyone behind in New Hampshire to go play volleyball for the university. I played that for a year, switched, went to tennis, played that, and then I decided I needed to work. So I took a co-op job for the Navy as a civilian, and I worked in contracting, so I bought supplies and services for the Navy, for aircraft simulators. During this time, I went to school and finished my graduate degree, got my real estate license, quit, and took off for Europe. I remember kissing the Blarney Stone, backpacking through 13 countries in Europe, hitchhiking in an 18-wheeler through France, camping just a few feet from the Berlin Wall, former Berlin Wall, stranded in the Black Forest in Germany, sleeping in train stations, castles, and youth hostels, but turned away from the Italian nuns. Cross-country skiing in Holland, eating Belgian waffles in Brussels, waking up on a pub train in Pisa after a bottle of wine, straight from Barcelona. My car getting broken into in Amsterdam, hiking the Cinque Terre, scuba diving with sharks in the Bahamas, seeing the terracotta warriors in China, sailing across the Atlantic on the QE2, eating sushi on the streets of Japan, riding an elephant in Vietnam, navigating the Panama Canal, romantic walks by the Eiffel Tower, roasting chestnuts and taking Turkish baths in Budapest, hiking the Mayan ruins, kayaking in the Caribbean, swimming with the stingrays in the Grand Cayman and dolphins in Florida, climbing a waterfall in Jamaica, cruising from island to island in Hawaii, crossing the Continental Divide, snowboarding in the Canadian Rockies, whitewater rafting in Colorado, flying a helicopter, taking lessons in a Diamond Star aircraft, jumping out of a King Air at 13,000 feet, getting stuck in a snowbank, in a snowstorm quite a few times in North Carolina, driving the tail of the dragon in the middle of the night, walking with the elk, moose, and bison in the national parks, including Yellowstone, watching two turkeys show their love for each other in the Bryce Canyon. The list goes on. I have been truly blessed and have had so many experiences over the course of my life, but the only problem is I want more. So I will at some point take off for a year or more and travel east. Just keep coming. And also, we'll take an RV around the country. So I've got some plans. So aside from my truly amazing family, friends, and health, I love my freedom and my zest for adventure. Since the first part of my life has already been written, and it was a good book, the rest of it's unwritten, and I do have the ink. To me, life is about stories.